Val's House Musing time. This one's actually in my more romancy side. What is this section called? My otherworldly tales side. So these aren't as harsh, so to speak, as some of the other sections that I've read from, but I particularly I wrote this story, I think, to kind of sort of shake off the aftermath of I had been diagnosed with I think they labeled me stage 3 skin cancer on my leg while 2 months in my second trimester with my firstborn. All while the economic bubble burst, we had both been laid off, and basically things were just stacked up. So this is titled appropriately For the Love of Stress. And apparently there was a Babylonian god who was associated with stress. And then, of course, I'm a sucker for paranormal romances. So this is sort of like that harrowing moment of our main female character realizing that life has completely gotten out of hand and there's nothing she can do to fix it. And this implication of some otherworldly person offering a chance of a lifetime when she doesn't have much lifetime left, right? So without further ado, this is For the Love of Stress, one of the many short stories out of Val's House of Musing. They laid the train tracks with a thump of the wooden rail, followed by the skull-splitting ping, ping, ping of the spikes being driven in place. Frustrated, I sat on the decrepit wooden bench in what used to be a thriving stop with posters from another era. The train was stalled, the tracks damaged and in need of replacing. I'd gotten bored with trying to solve the mystery of how they were laying the ties. My cell phone battery was dead, the novel I was reading was finished, and I glowered at the empty, broken vending machine across from me, stomach grumbling. Dust covered the platform. Its tiny, abandoned station had a sign at the old ticket counter that read, "Closed," in elegant script. The old bench beneath me cracked as I shifted my weight, adjusting my black pencil skirt. Sighing, I was thankful for the delay in going home. Work was stressful. Working in a call center whose collection calls dealt with dying people was hard and morbid enough. I'd lost track of all the stories of the terminally ill involving chemotherapy and surgeries, even grown numb to them. That was until today. A call from my doctor's office at lunchtime scared me. The voice on the phone was the doctor. His sad, soft tone was still bouncing in my head. "I'm so sorry, Vanessa, but the result from your biopsy came back positive for stage 4 cancer." Tears welled up, dancing behind my eyelids as I begged them to not fall. Work had been one giant blur. I had thrown my lunch in the trash, no longer wanting to eat after the bad news. It was beyond me how I had managed to do my work as normal, but shock does funny things to people. The tightening in my chest and burning in my throat were pushing me to the brink of a breakdown. What did it matter? Crying there alone would be the same as falling asleep on a tear-soaked pillow in my apartment. There was no one waiting for me at the end of this train ride. "Excuse me." I jerked on the bench, the baritone voice making my chest ache, my heart exploding. "Sorry to startle you, but did you come off the train there?" "Yes," I stuttered. "Is something wrong?" "No, not at all. It just might take them a while to fix everything." He wasn't much taller than me, with a dirty blonde French hairstyle and an intimidating boyish grin. He wore a dark gray suit, the tie loose around his neck, the white shirt unbuttoned under it. "Do you mind if I sit here with you?" "I suppose not." I lost my words. The light glaring on his thick-rimmed glasses shifted, revealing his stunning blue eyes with brown stretching out from the pupils. "Were you on the train too?" "Oh, yes. It's been quite a stressful day, hasn't it?" The smile fell away, and he stretched his eyebrows tall, nodding his brow. "Saying you look stressed would be an understatement." His words added to my panic, sending my chest back to the throbbing depression. "You have no idea." "Please don't cry." I bit my quivering lip as I looked away from his concerned face. For a moment, just forget about the rest of the world and its worries. I opened my mouth, but couldn't think of anything to say. A deep, slow inhale pushed back my anxiety, tears blurring my sight as my thoughts raced. How could I bear leaving home again if my situation was written on my face? Every time the words, "Are you okay?" hit my ears, I would sob. I would feel it in my core. They would be pulling the trigger to the gun called cancer, hitting my chest with its bullets and destroying me. A warm hand brushed my hair behind my ear, and I turned to see the gentlest of smiles. My hands rushed to my face, desperate to hide the tears he had shaken out of me. I could hear him shushing me as I started to sob. He was coaxing my hands down, and I let them follow. Eyes overflowing with tears, I looked at him with all the hopelessness pouring out of my soul. My body shook as he tried to convince me to come closer, and I refused. Why was he so insistent on treating me as if he knows why I'm upset, as if he and I are long-lost friends? Thunder was rumbling outside. The train tracks were still torn apart as the workers shouted to stop working. Looking away from him, I watched in horror as they packed up their tools and shut down the equipment. I was stuck here. Once more, the warmth of his hand found my neck and jaw. Turning my head to him, his lips pressed hard against mine. Pushing away from him, I broke it off, my face feeling hot with anger. "Who do you think you are?" I screamed, slapping him on the cheek so hard I knocked off his glasses. "Inza." Huffing, he rubbed his cheek with a coy smirk. "I suppose you wouldn't know who I am." I was grabbing my things, and he grabbed my wrist. "Let go!" "Wait. I can take all your stress away." His face was stern, his eyes hitting my own with truth as lightning lit the station. Even the cancer. With eyes wide, I paled. "How do you know?" "Stay here with me." Once more, he brushed my hair behind my ear. "Be the bride of the forgotten god of stress." Speechless, I dropped my phone and it shattered at my feet. This time, I kissed him as I dropped my book, its pages opening to the chapter on Mesopotamian gods. We sat down, holding one another, staring at the train, rain dripping from the rusty gutters, making a curtain between the platform and the tracks. So, it's a bittersweet story, so to speak, but it comes from a very real place for me a little bit because of my own battle. And yes, it's been removed. I've been skin cancer free for now officially roughly 15 years. Baby came out healthy, everything's hunky-dory, and things like that, but I get it. But it was just an interesting idea, because we always love those fairy tales, those paranormal romances where the otherworldly being shows up and takes them away from all the awful stuff. And in her case, the awful stuff sort of is not easily resolved. But the idea that she's being offered to be loved, and she feels so lonely and so broken and just has this terrible job, and you just feel stressed as the story starts, because you realize, oh, this hurts, this stings a little bit. And then he comes out of left field, and I kind of like that vibe that he he takes a chance. He gets slapped. She reacts appropriately. But I like that hint that she just spent that train ride reading about who he is. And therefore, does she know him? Who knows? But she definitely made the only choice I think anyone could make in that scenario. So again, that's one of the many little short stories that don't necessarily have a home or didn't make it in the contest it was initially written for, but I feel deserved to be in readers' hands. So happy spooky season, y'all.